Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hello and welcome to another special Between Takes episode of Missing Frames. I'm your host, SHAWN EASTRIDGE. Normally on Missing Frames, we watch all the movies we should have seen by this point in our lives, but these Between Takes episodes are an excuse to kind of go off the beaten path. We talk about other films, franchise reviews with the franchise boys, and film festival coverage and filmmaker interviews. So this is our coverage. And when I say our, I'm referring to the two awesome gentlemen who joined me on this episode. It's Tyler Scruggs and Kale Smith. Kale Smith is the youth critic. You can find his podcast just by looking that up. And they joined me. These are two gentlemen I met at the 2019 Atlanta Film Festival. And we were all doing press. We were all kind of covering it and doing reviews and podcast episodes and interviews and things like that. And we've stayed in touch since. And this is the first time the three of us have gotten to chat about the film festival since 2019. Again, it felt like this year, we talk about it a little bit in this episode, it felt like this year was really kind of the return to form for the Atlanta Film Festival. A lot of filmmakers were reflecting the same idea, the same thing, that it felt like the past couple years we were kind of getting out of the COVID phase, and now it feels like it's back full force. Everyone's out and about, having fun and doing great stuff. So this is a part one of a two-part conversation I had with Tyler and Kale. The second part will be released on Kale's podcast, which is, again, the Youth Critic. And you can listen to more of our reviews and festival coverage and conversation over there. This episode, we talk a little bit about some of the films we've seen and or some of the films we saw at the festival, and our experience kind of returning to film festivals. Again, this is the first time I actually went in person. I did the 2020 Atlanta Film Festival online, and it was okay, but you just don't get the same experience as when you're in person, hanging out with people, connecting with filmmakers, and eating a lot of free food. Thank you to the Atlanta Film Society and all the wonderful sponsors for paying for that free food and for the press pass. I'm giving you a thumbs up. You can't see it. You get 2 thumbs up, just like Roger Ebert would want. But yeah, had a great time. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this conversation. I hope you enjoy it.
Now available to own on video cassette.
Kale and Tyler, we'll start with Kale. Kale, introduce yourself to the people. They need to recognize who is who, because there are going to be 3 voices, and my listeners are used to my annoying voice, but they might not be used to hearing actual, legitimate, real live, excellent voices on this podcast. So Kale, introduce yourself.
I mean, I don't know. Like, that's a high compliment. That's high praise, as one would say, because this voice is definitely not excellent.
No, this is a good. You've got a good podcasting voice, Kale. Just give yourself the credit.
But yeah, you're right, absolutely. But yes, everyone at the Nerd Party. I am Kale Smith. I am the youth critic, and I run a podcast called the Youth Critic Podcast, and I review movies, I do interviews, I do everything, retrospectives. Look, I spend way too many long nights waiting on Adobe Audition to work.
Waiting for somebody to podcast with you, just reaching out into the ether, hoping for the best.
Please help me. Please podcast with me.
So Kale, we're going to give Kale a moment to recover his emotions. Tyler, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm Tyler Scruggs. I am a film critic. Everything's going to come with a question mark. I'm just a critic, really. I work in film and TV. I am a writer and sort of like digital content creator guy. And I just love talking about movies. I love watching them, and it's starting to matter now. Tell me if like y'all relate to this. Like, as I get older, my tolerance for things become a bit lower. Like I'm seeing less things I don't want to see. But at the same time, my standards are getting lower in the sense that like I am willing to watch the shit everything that I'm interested in.
Sure.
Like,
you're saying
way
you're
more
like,
boldly.
as I get older, or as you get older, the expectations, it doesn't matter anymore. You're just like, look, if it looks like somebody put at least some modicum of effort into this, I will applaud it.
Like, yeah, like if the ego is like, ain't it cool news brain, I am now like Zen Buddhist.
Perfect. I think we need more of that though, because there's plenty of ain't it cool news film snobs hating on everything, myself included. We need more of the Zen Buddhists. Like, it's a movie. Why can't we be happy? This is amazing that people made this.
It's less of the criticism and more so just like the all capsness of it all.
Yes.
Just like, you were being so loud of the movie you thought was okay.
There must be things you can do with your time that are better spent.
Because I know there is for me. Anyway, thanks for having me.
Yes,
this I'll
is
see myself
great.
out.
Well,
goodbye. Yeah,
we all met 4 years ago at the 2019 Atlanta Film Festival. That was the last time we all hung out, because then a little thing called COVID happened. 2020. Kale, you and I did the 2020 Atlanta Film Festival. We recorded episodes that people should go and listen to. It was a weird experience. It just wasn't as enjoyable, I don't think, for either
well,
of us.
The podcast was not a weird experience, but
no, the podcast was fun. It was weird in a different way, but like the experience of all digital film festival was a strange one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it should have been like expected, it should have been expected because we have the internet, we have streaming, but like it was one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, now we're sitting in our cars in places where drive-ins were not meant to be there, and we're watching movies, or we're watching stuff online, and
you drive to you go to the drive-in alone in your car, and then you go home. You don't talk to anybody, you don't get to hang out, you don't get to eat anything. It was not
that sentence alone sounds so uncomfortable. I go to the drive-in by myself.
I go home by myself. It was really kind of an epitome of what 2020 I think was like for many people, which was just loneliness and being inside rooms or cars, or just very, very alone, all by your lonesome, and not having really any communal experiences at all. It kind of epitomized that, and it was nice. I mean, I talked to some great filmmakers, and that was a lot of fun, but it was nice to talk to Kale just to at least get some semblance of, oh, somebody else out there has seen these movies and I can talk about them with them.
Exactly. Like, that's, and not to harp on it too much, but like, these past few years has been both like eye-opening, but also like it's been great for me because I get to have like, one-on-one conversations with filmmakers and really talk about the craft and really get to talk about, how they work with actors, So for me, it was, it was like a silver lining to be able to do everything online, because now, there's not someone, standing over you being like, come on now.
True. Yeah.
Because now it's just the internet. You can just say, oh, we'll be 10, 15 minutes, and then really have like an actual conversation, especially with documentarians, about their, the work and about the subject they, talk more about the subject they, explored. So it was both a weird, but also like a very great time to connect better with the, the subject and filmmakers in terms of interviews. So
yeah, that's a good point. It definitely felt that way for me too. You felt like there was a little bit more of a desperation on the filmmaker's part. Like, yes, please talk to me, because I don't know how I'm going to promote this film or how it's going to make any money without like a release or anything like that. So that's a good point. That was a benefit of that time period. But I certainly, this is the first time I've been back to the festival in person since 2019, since the three of us hung out. And that was absolutely lovely. Am I alone in thinking this, or how do we feel?
Tyler?
No, it felt great to be back at the movies, Tom Cruise style. But I was just really busy this week, so like I just like overcommitted. Like I went and saw. Why am I spacing? I did not like it. Moulin Rouge, the musical. I was given tickets to that.
Maybe that's why you were
on, like,
spacing. Your brain was trying
Friday
to
night.
erase the memory.
Listen, no, and I like it was like one of those things where like some PR firm reached out to me and was like, hey, like we'd love to give you some like media tickets to Moulin Rouge. That's what it is. And I was like, oh yeah, totally, give me free stuff, absolutely. And I left. I walked out of that show questioning my faith in God. I love Baz Luhrmann. I like Moulin Rouge. This was like, I had to kind of like make this like decision to just write a bad review of it. And so I just like, I shat on it on my Instagram and I was like, hey, listen, like, do send me those Wicked tickets though, because I'm sure I'm going to
let me
I will love
like,
I will love one of these shows.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to love one of these shows. And then so like that was that first Friday of the festival, and then I had Taylor Swift on the other Friday.
Oh, that's right.
And so I kept missing like the red carpets and running around to everything.
It takes energy. Yeah. You've got to like after a draining negative experience with Moulin Rouge, I get it. You needed to recover, and then you needed to be on your best behavior for Miss Swift.
I was like, I saw the show and was like, the Terra Theater party. Did you guys make it to the Terra Theater?
Yes,
I did. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I was like, I gotta make it to there. And then I had someone with me, and I was like, I don't know if I can get you in. Like, it's it's gonna be a whole thing. So tell me how the Terra Theater remodels were.
Sean, you want to go first?
Yeah, it was great. In general, just what Chris Escobar, the head. Is it okay to call him the head of the Atlanta Film Society?
I think he's like I think the title is executive director, but
yeah, let's go with that. That sounds more.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, that sounds more professional. But he's our great and fearless leader, and it was super cool
Kevin
of him.
Feige.
Yes, he's the Kevin Feige of the Atlanta film scene in general. So he purchased the Terra Theater, which is this old Georgia theater. It's been around for years and years. It's one of the last like historical theaters, I think, movie theaters in the Atlanta metro area. It's that and Plaza, I think. And Terra was owned by Regal, and then they were closed down a few months ago, like a little earlier this year. And not even like, I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, Chris announced that they were purchasing Terra and they're renovating it. They're going to reopen it, and we got to kind of see quotes. What are the air quotes representing, Kale? Explain these air quotes.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, you're still getting the Terra from if it's anything that I saw, like, because I went to all of the different screening rooms, because there's 4 in the Terra. For those who don't know, I went to all the different ones, and they still had like the old seats. They still had the screens the same, so it's not like it wasn't like the Rialto. It's not like the Rialto Theater where it's like new screen, new projector. No, but you're getting the Terra back.
The Terra was rescued, yeah.
Yeah, so it was rescued Quentin Tarantino style, but yeah, it was owned by Regal, and then Regal is owned by Cineworld, and Cineworld is going through bankruptcy, so they're closing like Regal theaters left and right, like everywhere. So if you are close to like a Regal theater that looks like it's older than 10 years old, it might be on its last legs.
Yeah.
By the way.
And Chris is not going to save all of them. The Terra has history in Atlanta, so there was a reason for that. But the party was great. I mean, it was nice to go back to the Terra. I'd only been there a couple times, but it was just really cool to be there. There was a tarot reading. So I've never had a tarot reading before. I did that, and I talked to the reader about Superman the whole time. And I was just committed to like, she was like, what do you want to ask me? And I wasn't prepared. I was like, I thought you were going to just tell me what I'm feeling and what I need to do. So I just was like, James Gunn is going to be filming Superman in Atlanta. And I just want to somehow exude inspiration to him and everyone on that crew so that they can make the best possible Superman movie, and I could just see her like the light leave her eyes as I just went on and on about Superman and brought everything back to Superman at any and every opportunity. That was my unique tarot experience at the Terra. It was delightful.
That's amazing. I'm sorry. That's amazing. What a perfect like thing to ask a tarot reader or a fortune teller, because I want to know too. I want to go, get my palm read and be like, am I going to like James Gunn's Superman?
Yes.
Is it going to be cynical and piss me off or not? And
I think we are in for a treat based on Mr. Gunn's personality and recent interviews. I'm very excited about that. And the tarot reader was very encouraging about my love of Superman. To her credit, she did an excellent job of putting up with my bullshit. And that was a lot of fun. So it was just great to go out and network with people again and meet cool filmmakers and talk with people. And it was just nice being out and about. So it's been a long time since I've gone out and about and done stuff, but for like a big social event like that, feels like it's been a very long time.
Exactly. And for me, it was just so nice to meet everyone again. I saw people that I went to school with, it was a great, like just getting everyone. It was almost like getting the whole band back together, like a nice high school reunion in one of the best. Because to me, you've said, Sean, you've been to the Terra only a couple times. I remember all throughout college, like going and seeing art films or just like smaller release stuff at the Terra, because they would sometimes be the only people to have. And it is an old theater. Like it is a very historical theater. At one time, it was an adult film house for a quick Bennett.
That explains why that weird guy in the corner kept asking me if I wanted him to give me a lap dance. He would not leave me alone.
That was Paul Rubens. You're so disrespectful.
Sweet guy. Paul's a sweet guy, but had to decline, sadly.
But yeah, no, it was so great. And this was the first time I had heard about the Terra being bought and renovated, because when I saw the party was at the Terra, I was like, I should definitely go and just pay my respects, because they're probably going to, the festival probably had to bend over backwards to have this party. Yeah. Because Regal was so dead on like, no, it is closed. We are shutting down. This place will never see the light of day.
Yeah.
Then Chris Escobar at Polite Society is like, oh yeah, I bought the Terra Theater. So,
by the way. So yeah, that was great. And in general, it was just nice. Like the 2023 festival experience just felt like everybody's back. I don't know what last year was like. I didn't go to last year. I don't know if either of you did. But it felt like the past couple years, kind of like slowly but surely everyone coming out of their shells. But this year felt like for a lot of people that I talked to, this was like the real big comeback for almost everybody. So that was great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was no like Game of Thrones premieres, none of that still. Or they could have, I guess, done a premiered episode of Succession. But it was like a nice, like just coming home. We still got a lot of really good content. The only problem that I kind of had overall with the festival was that a lot of like the big stuff, like Polite Society, the Michael J. Fox movie, Night of the Cooters, the Kelly Reinhardt movie, like everything kind of just felt like it was all in the front half of the festival, and then the back half was like so empty. Like, yeah, I don't know how anyone else felt about that, but like to me, I was just like, and for the longest time, like kept like the closing night slot open, and I was like, man, like what are they gonna do? Like, because it's like there's nothing for the closing night.
Yeah.
Like in the longest time, I was theorizing that they would do like something big, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 or something, or like Carmen, have the Paul Mescal movie there, but ultimately we ended up with Keke Palmer's, which no one saw, by the way. None of us saw the Keke Palmer thing, right?
No, I didn't.
I missed it because I didn't know that it was at the Rialto. I went to the plaza. I was like late to the plaza, and I was like, well, it's a 45-minute movie, and the party is back here.
So you're like, I'm good.
I guess I'll see you, Kiki.
It was weird though that it was like just. I mean, kudos to her. That's very exciting. But like, yeah, just a 45-minute. And it was a music video.
It's like oh, go ahead.
It was a documentary, to my understanding, about her like trying to make it in the music industry.
Okay.
Or like navigating the music industry, because she has a record coming out, and so it was like her directorial debut, but it was also about her. So I didn't see it, but it was kind of giving me like vlog vibes.
Okay.
or like, this is a little like slice of life into grander Keke Palmer project and all the things that has going on.
The way it was presented, because I think Chris talked about it, I think at the Night of the Cooters premiere, is that it's basically like Beyonce's Lemonade, where it's like, this is like an album, like visual piece.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, like it's a long music video. Like that's how it was presented to. And Sean, I don't know if you remember, but like that's how, like, because he was talking about like how like Keke Palmer they were going to have the Keke Palmer thing at the Rialto, which I also thought was odd, just because everything has always been at the plaza.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, okay.
Yeah, well, the Rialto, because they opened it and had a big event and the new screen and everything, I think they were, like, looking for, like, what can we show at the Rialto? What can we do there? And they even did Rainn Wilson's book tour there, which isn't remotely film-related, but, it was there. It happened. He came and did that, so. I
think Chris Escobar was trying to highlight all the different, like, podcast or medias, that the festival, because that's kind of been like his one way of transitioning. Like he kind of wants to spotlight different kind of forms of media, whether it be podcasts, movies, books, album pieces, whatever you call me, Lemonade and Keke Palmer's thing. So I think that's what the idea was for this festival, but I don't think it necessarily all worked.
Yeah, it's like it needed to commit to something in particular, but it was just like kind of putting its hands in every cookie jar ever, which, the more cookies the better, but at the same time.
Mm-hmm. But I will say as my final note on the festival is that they did like truncate the last weekend with like all these like encore screenings.
Yeah.
Of like Passages, Mr. Gardner, the Georgia Short blocks. They really did try to make it like fill it out, because I think they were also realizing, oh, we really have nothing.
Yeah, they really did front load the week, but it was fun. Yeah, I think all of us kind of had a similar experience, and Tyler, maybe yours was the opposite, but it was like we all attended events on one of the weekends, and then the other weekend kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah, because I think I paid more attention weekend 2, and I was like, where is everyone?
Yeah. By that point, everyone had left.
And I was cramming in, thank God for the press screeners, because I was like, just give me access to everything, right, and I will watch it when I can.
And that's the other thing. Eventive had like all the screenings like for everything, and then they took it away.
Yeah,
and there wasn't there wasn't an online companion to every movie, and so there were things that I missed there. But like, just to kind of springboard, because I brought up Terra Theater, but that was following one of the movies that y'all saw together. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was after Polite Society, which was the first movie I saw at the festival. I think that was the opening night presentation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the opening night, and that was my first movie too, because I could not make it Thursday night.
And I think, did that just have like a wider release or something? It was released like just this past weekend, officially.
Yes,
it
I
technically
believe
came
so.
it technically came out the weekend of the presentation, but it's been like going wide expansion for like the last couple weeks.
Right. So do we want to talk a little bit about Polite Society? Well, let's transition into the movies, into the reviews, and we will not spoil any specifics. I know some people still are planning to see some of these movies, so we'll keep
And some of
these
this is not available or out yet. So
yeah, exactly, not wide released or anything like that. So we will keep our reviews as vague as we can without spoiling specific details. But Polite Society, which I'd heard of and seen previews for, and was kind of pleasantly surprised when I was like, oh, how nice. This is the opening night presentation. I get to see this movie that I was like moderately interested in. But Kale, how did you feel about Polite Society? Did you know much going into it, or did you kind of go in completely blind?
So I had seen trailers for this movie months and months ago, back in 2022, and I was actually pretty interested in it because they were kind of selling this as, and my friend and Marley and I kind of talked about this last night. They were kind of selling this as Everything Everywhere All at Once, all over again, but for Pakistan. So because it was like, crazy premise, but grounded by family, or like a family story.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how Focus kind of promoted it, and I was kind of really excited about it because it featured a young girl who's aspiring stunt woman, but her sister's marrying off to this like rich asshole. Well, not even an asshole in the movie, but just like she thinks he's a rich asshole,
right?
So I was very, very much into it, and then I saw the movie in the first half. Has anyone ever watched a movie where you feel like you're the only one like not getting it? Like you're just like,
oh yeah,
oh god, this is going to be horrific. I'm gonna have to explain myself.
They're gonna make you go up and stand in front of everyone in the audience and explain why.
Yeah. And so I had that for the first 2/3 of the movie, and then right when the second act was ending, there's a moment, and I won't spoil it. There's a moment in the movie, and Sean knows this, I think. There's a moment in the movie where a piece of plot information is finally revealed. And it was like this like light bulb in my head. I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Right.
I get it, what this movie, because for so much of this movie, it's about this teenage girl who's aspiring to be a stunt woman, and it's about this movie. It becomes this movie about her, having to realize her dreams are making her immature, and she should just compromise and just move on. And maybe she's just and maybe realize she's mediocre. And I felt like this just isn't working. Like this just is not like the movie. This is not the movie that this movie should be.
Yeah. And
it's not even the movie that I was sold. So for 2/3 of this movie, I'm like, I don't even like the character. Like I'm not big on the main character.
There's an issue with her character in general, which is that she spends the whole time kind of being the bratty little sister. Because, the premise is like her older sister, who she's really close to, and they've grown up together and they love each other, is now like there's a wedge driven between them because now her older sister is going to go off and get married, and she doesn't approve. She doesn't like that her older sister is being taken away from her. So she spends a good chunk of the movie just being bratty, like and kind of doing bratty things, trying to like get her sister back. And I kind of agree with you. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is a solid comparison as far as what this wanted to be. It felt really like Scott Pilgrim to me, like Scott Pilgrim Light. Like it had a similar vibe, similar like kind of exaggerated sort of zany kind of like not quite reality, exaggerated reality, where they're like random like fights between like a bully and the main character and exaggerated stunts and things like that. It's not as creative as Scott Pilgrim, and it doesn't have the budget that Scott Pilgrim has or the fight choreography. So it doesn't quite reach the level I wanted it to kind of match something like Scott Pilgrim. But it has a lot of heart. It's really sweet. It's fun. I enjoyed it a lot, and then kind of like walked out feeling like, all right, I don't ever need to see this again. But had a fun time watching it.
Great.
Ending is, I mean, the whole movie is fun. It's worth a watch for sure. It feels very much like it is writing Edgar Wright's coattails, and does an admirable job, but doesn't quite make it to that level, which is okay. I'm actually not a major Scott Pilgrim fan either, so I think a lot of the problems with Scott Pilgrim that I have are evidenced. I'm getting a thumbs down from Kale. I'm sure I'm getting a thumbs down from many people out there, but I think a lot of the style versus substance ideas and kind of zany comedy overriding genuine emotion for me for both movies, I think is kind of a disconnect for me. But they're fun, they're sweet. Yeah, go see Polite Society. and Kale, please don't hurt me, or Tyler. Tyler, I don't know how you feel.
It's not even worth the thumbs down. I'm not even dignifying it.
Maybe 15-year-old me would have agreed with you, but
15-year-old me is ready to fight.
There's the giant verse sign coming down, and
I'm now a Scott Pilgrim character.
Yes, there's a lot of that in Polite Society, so it's like it's very much so they love that movie and are
as the one that hasn't seen it, I was like sold, unsold, and then kind of it just went into a bucket of like, oh, if I cross paths with this movie, I might not turn it off.
Yeah, it's worth the watch if it's on.
I don't think it's getting the traction that was expected. The only thing that I've heard about it outside of the Atlanta Film Festival is I'm on Blue Sky and I follow Kumail Nanjiani, and I guess him and his wife are buying whole screenings of the film in random cities and just giving away the tickets and just like, please just come watch this movie. And it sounds cool.
Yeah,
it's super sweet. I hope it gets the audience that it's looking for.
It'll be a cult film. Like, it will be this cult film. Like, you'll see it on Twitter, and especially when like it comes to like VOD and Blu-ray and all that stuff, it'll kind of I think it will find its audience. It's just April, especially this last half of April. I mean, just so many movies came out.
And I think it's that, and honestly, it's the disadvantage of like Scott Pilgrim exists already. Like, you can watch it does everything this movie does, but better. As far as creativity, visual style, energy, like all of that stuff. And it's not to like say Polite Society isn't good or worth a watch, but it definitely feels like as far as like the cult following goes, I can see a lot of people watching Polite Society and being like, oh, that was like a fun Scott Pilgrim knockoff. Now I'm going to go watch Scott Pilgrim.
Well, and also, I mean, even the Scott Pilgrim fans, like, if they were looking for that, like, to scratch that niche, it was going to be like, they already have like so many options out this month, or last month they could go to Renfield, they could go to Evil Dead Rise, they could go to Beau is Afraid, which, I mean, the amount of people that's going to cross-pollinate with that maybe is smaller than I think. But no, but it's just like there was just so much that came out that, I think focus would have just been better if they waited until September or something. But then again, I mean, who knows? We wouldn't probably not had that as the opening night,
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's to be fair, Scott Pilgrim bombed box office wise. So there is an opportunity here for Polite Society, which has a lower budget and more opportunity to make some money. But I see what Tyler's saying, where I've gotten the same vibe where they were kind of trying to make Polite Society the It movie. And then it's sort of, to Kale's point, like everything else coming out has just kind of outshone it.
It's Fox Searchlight, right? Do you all know? I think it is Fox
Focus.
Searchlight. It's Focus. Okay, that
it's
makes
Focus.
A little more sense, because I thought it was a Fox Searchlight, and I was like, damn, I would love it if y'all gave this kind of hype and attention to any of the movies that you dump onto Hulu.
Right.
It's like we're putting all our chips on Polite Society.
Yes, yeah.
When like
it's good. There's enough to it, I think, I think the people who see it and enjoy it are going to really, really enjoy it. And it's got enough to recommend a watch. But for me personally, it didn't do enough to kind of stand on its own apart from Scott Pilgrim and a lot of the stuff I'd already seen in that movie. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about our next big movie, which was Night of the Cooters, a short-ish movie?
It's
explain this one to me.
Yeah, it's an extended short. It was like 45 minutes long, and it's directed by Vincent D'Onofrio, one of the great actors.
He's a great character actor.
Yes.
Prolific in every way.
Right.
Yeah.
So he directed this, and George R. Martin executive produced it. Basically, the concept is, Tyler, that there's this sci-fi author, Howard Waldrop, who is well known in like a niche sci-fi circle for writing a very particular kind of sci-fi story. And George R. R. Martin loves this guy. They're friends, and Martin loves his stories. And he's always wanted Waldrop's stories to be adapted, but there really isn't an avenue financially for that to happen. Like, adapting.
And they're all shorts. Like you can't.
Yeah, they're all short stories. So it's like, what do you, it's not quite Philip K. Dick with Minority Report or things like that. It's kind of more weird, more quirky, and there isn't sort of a big budget appeal to these. So Martin was basically like, well, I'll fund these, and this is the first of the stories that has been funded. And George R. R. Martin had already known D'Onofrio, and they had a conversation about it, and D'Onofrio was like, yeah, I'd like to direct that and star in it as well. And we got to experience, it was, I think, the inaugural screening at the Rialto Center for its brand new screen that they unveiled during the festival. And Kale, I want to know what you thought of Night of the Cooters. Do tell.
That is Tyler. So the only way I can explain it is it's like a 40-minute constipation joke. Like it is like the long, like it's one long running poop joke. So
yes, that is certainly a way to describe it.
Listener, my jaw is on the floor. That's like...
Because so like it's like a fun little B movie, sci-fi movie where aliens come to the West,
the old West, old like West. Cowboys and
and like so. Have you seen like Ralph Bakshi? You know what Ralph Bakshi is, right, Tyler?
He did the animated Lord of the Rings movies with like rotoscope and things like that.
So what they did with this movie is they shot like actors in front of a green screen and then digitally rotoscoped them into backgrounds.
It's kind of like a Waking Life or a Scanner Darkly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So like the movie's like sort of animated, but they shot this in like a gymnasium in Arizona, in like New Mexico. The only thing like that's real is the commode. That is in that book opens and bookends this movie. And yeah, that's like I don't want to go into full spoilers, but yeah, it's a 40-minute like comical joke. And while I know that, I mean, look, they have very limited funds, and there's a place for like the Ralph Bakshi like rotoscoping art style, but I kind of was watching this and going, this is a joke, right? Wait,
and then the movie said yes.
The movie said yes, yeah. And I personally, yes, Kale felt punked. I was like, I'm here for it. I loved it. It was great. I had a blast. I think it is certainly a 40-minute constipation joke. Yes, that is also 100% down my avenue of absurd humor. So I was into it. I enjoyed it. It's a ridiculous movie. I don't know when and how it would possibly be released for anybody else to see. But it was really cool to see D'Onofrio in the role, also directing, because I don't know if I've seen anything else he's directed. And he's clearly having a blast. The cast is having a lot of fun. And it's just a weird, quirky, goofy movie with crazy animation. It's very clear, like, you know, the rotoscope, the decision was we do not have a budget, so let's just animate everything, and that will save us a lot as far as costs are concerned. And I was into it. It was like B-level sci-fi, fully embracing that idea, and also with poop jokes.
Okay.
Exactly. So, but yeah, no, it's fine. It's just like I really was just like, wow, okay.
I think it's funny that that's what they decided to like debut their new screen with.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
That was, I think, and honestly, that being part of the experience made me love it even more. Just the like. You know, George R. Martin is here, Vincent D'Onofrio is here, cinema is alive, and we have this new screen, and this is like that just almost made it even better. It was like it was chef's kiss. It was so good that it was like, this is the movie we're gonna screen as the first film.
I mean, to be fair, they did show the Michael J. Fox movie like 2 hours before this.
That's true. Okay, so it wasn't the first, but it was the second. Number 2. That's a poop joke for you. I'm so sorry. Night of the Cooters. I think honestly, but the highlight of that was the red carpet before, for sure, because we both, Kale and myself, got to interview both Vincent D'Onofrio and George R. Martin, which was delightful.
Well, that's amazing. That sounds great.
So now, Tyler, we've done a lot of talking about some movies we saw, but you saw a movie that neither of us got to see, and I'm incredibly jealous. As a Paul Schrader fan, tell us all about Master Gardener.
Before I get into there, into Master Gardener. I want to mention this movie because it's very strange how aesthetically similar it is to Night of the Cooters. And that is Quantum Cowboys.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
So this movie is a trip because it also like is green screen, rotoscope. It switches into stop motion and animation, like fluidly.
And this was at the Atlanta Film Festival too.
This was at the Atlanta Film Festival too.
Oh my god! All right.
It took place in like the 1870s Arizona. However, it also was kind of about quantum theory and like time and art and history. And essentially it was like a team of camera people who go from universe to universe, capturing like the perfect version of events, like the definitive version of events, from a storytelling perspective. And so it was about like this guy who like robs a bar, you know, in the 1870s, you know, it's just in like a saloon town, and like gets a well-loved musician killed in the process, but ends up going to jail, and you know, yada yada yada. And I can't get this movie out of my head because of how many ideas it poses, which was fun, but it also was made on a very tight budget. I think they spent everything on getting David Arquette in the
David Arquette? What?
David Arquette.
Oh, man.
He plays like a cowboy in it. If you still have access to the screeners, I do recommend it ultimately, because it is like a trip. But it did go.
I just saw all the Scream movies, so like I'm his biggest fan.
And this will fit right in.
Nice.
So I wanted to give that little aside. Just
good. Or are there any constipation jokes or fart jokes?
None.
Okay.
None that I.
Well,
can
that's
recall.
a star against it.
But there's also like there's just like this guy who like is talking about quantum time behind a desk, like almost like in a big like array of screens, and he's constantly watching all the different universes play out. So it's very like almost like the aesthetic of Everything Everywhere All at Once, you know, like that, the future timeline. It was like that mixed with like a cowboy western. And so that it was a fun movie. But Master Gardener, the new Paul Schrader, I don't really have a read on Paul like I actually know Paul Schrader as a creative more than most other directors because his Facebook posts are public. And I'm a really big fan of his Facebook posts.
They're an art form in and of themselves.
They're an art form in and of themselves, and I'm a fan of the craft. So I kind of always am going into his movies with that, like, this is a weird guy making making these movies. So Master Gardener is Joel Edgerton. He is a former Nazi and was a informant and put into witness protection, and kind of is trying to create a life beyond past his Nazi past. Okay. However, and like one of the big like aesthetic cruxes of the film, and this is in the trailer I believe, is that he's just covered in white supremacist Nazi tattoos. And so he's wearing like these long sleeve, he's like, I'm a gardener, with Sigourney Weaver as like his boss, and just like managing this garden, fully aware of his past, and like fetishizes it. It's almost this weird fetishization of white supremacy that like I've since watching it, I've had a lot of like trouble grappling with, because the sort of kicker of the film is that Sigourney Weaver's grandniece is this mixed girl who is he is and has been like separated from the family along with the mother because of that, and I guess to get her off the streets becomes Joel Edgerton's apprentice in being a gardener. So then like the rest of the film is them falling in love.
Wait, how old is this grandniece?
She's like 21.
Okay.
Okay.
And Joel Edgerton, I imagine, is early mid 40s or whatever, and has a whole family that left him as a result of the Nazi stuff. I don't want to get like deep.
I don't want to talk about Nazis too much, because
I don't want to talk about but,
yeah, this is a
it was
party.
But it was like it. I look forward to watching this movie again. That's the way I want to put it.
God. I do. Because... I mean, I love Paul Schrader, and I know he's kind of. Some of his more recent movies are hit and miss. The ones I'm thinking of course, are the classics. Like, he wrote Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, and I thought First Reformed was amazing. And I saw Hardcore and Mishima, which is a fascinating film and not at all like Paul Schrader, like any Paul Schrader film. So I highly recommend all of those. But this looked interesting, and I wanted to see it because I'm a Paul Schrader fan. And he's certainly somebody who, despite what his Facebook posts might suggest, is a thoughtful and has an interesting perspective on life, and has certainly addressed things like Nazism and white supremacy, and the idea of like the not the cliche, but kind of bursting the notion of like the white savior, in particular in Taxi Driver. He kind of examines that to its fullest extent. So yeah, I mean, it's a movie I'm interested in seeing. But this sounds, I knew nothing about it, and all of this sounds fascinating.
It is, yeah, it's fascinating. It just gets a little comical, and like I think it's played for laughs. Yeah. Well, like they'll like kiss, and then she'll like lift up his shirt, and he'll be like, wait.
Oh no! Oh, that's wonderful.
So wonderful. Your mileage may vary, I laughed at some of the absurdity of it.
Oh,
But
boy.
just it kind of reminded me of Drive in the sense that like the trailer is very much selling this like action packed, thing. Master Gardener is not action packed. There are flashbacks to violence and some stuff here and there, but it is deeply meditative, and it's about a gardener who really loves gardening.
He's a master gardener.
He is a master gardener. Let me tell you. So those were the.
So wait, is the gardening good?
That
Like, is he actually like a good gardener?
Yeah, is he good at is he actually a master gardener?
Yes. He is, and I haven't fully developed these thoughts because I didn't fully understand the movie at the end of the day. But there's definitely like some sort of parallel being drawn between white supremacy and curating a garden and the science of that. I was like, are these the connections that you're wanting me to make? And then the movie ended, and then
and then you were like, wow.
Wait.
And then I was just like in a little like upstairs theater at the plaza, just
Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't go, is because I did not want to drive down to see a Paul Schrader movie in like someone's what's essentially home theater.
Yep.
But it's A24, right? I don't know. I'm sure it'll go wide at some point.
Yeah. I don't know where we are. We're doing the internet research on the fly right now.
So I think it'll be on the plaza on May 19th. So it'll at least be there on May 19th.
Okay.
So
okay.
Give it a try.
And it will also be at the Mike or the Reg. So I think they already also have times already, and I think it's already still at the Reg. So someone must really want to like show Master Gardener in like a tiny theater.
A24.
It must be like a Paul Schrader thing. It must only be shown in small theaters.
Yes, which makes sense. That reads perfectly.
The film is so complex that it can only be screened in groups of 30 people.
We don't want to blow too many people's minds. This could change everything. All right.
One little aside on A24 and the upstairs theater. I saw Beau is Afraid. However, I screwed up watching Beau is Afraid. Did I already tell you about this, Kale?
Yes.
I don't know the story. Please tell me.
I get a ticket to Beau is Afraid, and I get there at like 5:38 for a 5:30 showing. And I'm like, okay, I'm running late. I'll just walk right in. And so I walk in, and the movie's starting expectedly. I'm running late, and I'm under the impression that it's something of a cold open. I swear to God, the way that this movie played out, very much felt like I was watching like a deranged opening minutes of a film. And I was like, okay, here are a lot of questions. Mystery box. Like I'm, this is very stimulating. And then about an hour in, credits start rolling.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I was like, oh, this is funny. This is like Vice. This is some sort of Charlie Kaufman joke. And then I see Nathan Lane's name in the credits, and I was like, wait, is Nathan Lane in this movie?
And then you see Amy Ryan show up, and you're like, what the?
I was like, what's going on? I was like, okay, like if you say so. And then I was like, wait, okay, this now I'm seeing like the unit production manager's names. Like we're getting tinier and tinier text. Like these are full credits. And so I was like, oh gosh, I walked into the wrong screen because I went straight to the downstairs at the plaza. My screening was playing upstairs, and so I was like, well, I screwed that up.
But did you go back and actually see it from beginning to end?
I went back and saw the first hour.
So you watched the second half first and then watched the first half.
I watched the final hour of Beau is Afraid, and then I watched the first hour. And that was a much more crowded screening up at the second story. And I just get like weird social anxiety stuff. And especially when I'm doing Movie Pass, I'm much more like willing to just be like, oh, I'll take care of this later. Like, right. Like if anything comes up, if I get a call, like I just won't come back. And so that happened. And I was like, I honestly couldn't bear the thought of like squeezing in front of people again to like sit back down. And that first hour, it was like, what is this movie? And then I couldn't take any, and so I watched the first hour, and then knowing the third hour, I was like, okay, I can kind of put this together.
Yeah, make up your own second hour.
But then I downloaded a cam of Beau is Afraid just so that I could see the middle hour, which was its own set of craziness. It was all blown out, and the entire like play bit was like completely illegible. And I was like, "What is this? Like, this is such a weird aside." Anyway,
and you're like, Beau's Afraid, best movie of 2023.
And kind of even still, I'm like, oh damn, this is a really freaking cool movie.
I now want this experience. Like, we have
this is the way to watch it.
Sean and I will run.
I honestly should make a
It's
YouTube
like
video.
Machete Order with the Star Wars prequel, or with the entire Star Wars franchise, where you do 4 and 5, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 6. Or you don't watch 1. I don't know. I'm sure this is exactly what Ari Aster intended when he was.
I watched Beau is Afraid out of order for the true.
He heard Jim Cameron say, "I don't care how many times. Like, go to the bathroom. You're gonna go see it again."
Right, exactly.
He heard Jim Cameron say it, and then was like, "Yes, I am validated. I am seen. Jim Cameron is my god now." So
yes, that sounds magnificent.
But yeah, so
now I've done enough talking. Let's do something.
No, I love all of this.
Well, Sean, what other thing have you seen?
Well, the only other feature length film I experienced at the Atlanta Film Festival, aside from Polite Society, was Judy Blume Forever, the documentary about Judy Blume, which I'd been looking forward to because somehow that was released the weekend before Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. That adaptation was released. So this year has become a Judy Blume year. And I have not seen Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I desperately want to because I love the filmmaker. She made Edge of 17, which was great. And I'm always a fan of coming of age movies. Have not read the book, don't know anything about Judy Blume, and decided, well, until I can see the movie, I'll just watch this documentary. And it's like a very good, relatively just like straightforward meat and potatoes. Here's who Judy Blume is. There you go. That's her story. She wrote some books, and that's it. So it was good. I learned something. Was not the most engaging documentary. It's weird to say that because you don't want to make it sound like, oh, Judy Blume is not an interesting person. She certainly seems like an interesting person, but I think maybe the way the documentary was laid out felt like very standard documentary. Like, all right, and now we're going to have these cut to these talking heads and these people talking about when they first read her books. And it just felt kind of like beat for beat, sort of, you could track the documentary, like, all right, here's what it needs to be.
I kind of felt that way for the documentary I watched, but we'll keep that for part 2.
Okay. So maybe it's just like, it's a style of documentaries where I think there's just this feeling of, all right, we've got to talk about when she was a kid and then the terrible things that she experienced as a kid. It just like, it's a very solid documentary, but something about it for me just kind of kept it felt like a little less like, oh yes, a prestige documentary about this acclaimed author, and a little bit more of like, oh, just something you could like flip on television. So yeah, enjoyed it, but probably not as good as the movie Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which, Kale, you saw. And I would love to hear your thoughts on that film. Even though it wasn't at the Atlanta Film Festival, I still want to hear
it. Should
have
been.
It should have been.
It should have been. Yeah, it should have been like the entire festival. But but no, it is a phenomenal movie. Kelly Freeman Craig, she like really does. I have not read the book either, but she really does like capture that like preteen, pre-puberty, or on the cusp of puberty, what it's like for girls, like what kind of fears or what kind of questions they have about the upcoming, puberty. And also, but it's more than that. It's about, a girl who is born from a Jewish father and a Christian mother, and her parents, they don't want her to like have to choose until she's an adult. So she kind of has this weird, not weird, but like just kind of this like obtuse understanding of God. So the whole movie is like her exploring her own world of faith, but also trying to also navigate, the world of upcoming puberty. Like, what are the fears of, what things, should she fear? Like, would her first period hurt? Those kind of things. Like, is she developing fast enough? Those kind of things. And it's very much, of that. It's a comedy about it, but it's also a good drama. Rachel McAdams is incredible. And Benny Safdie plays like her father.
That's right.
And,
I keep forgetting the Safdie. They pop up every so often in these movies, and I'm like, that's right, they act too. Is there anything they can't do?
And he's like the hot dad. Like,
he's the DILF.
Yeah. Like but he's also, and like what I do just love about it is like everyone is just like so lovely. Kathy Bates has one line in this movie towards the second act of the movie that just killed me. I don't remember what it is, and I won't, even if I did, I won't spoil it. But there's a line where she's like confronting some other group of parents, and like she just says one line, and it just slays me. It just like it killed me. It was so wonderful.
Awesome.
So yeah, just go see this movie. It's fantastic. It's fun. If you are uncomfortable with like menstruation and stuff like that, then maybe. Okay.
I mean, the poor girl going through it herself, I'm sure, was uncomfortable. Margaret is uncomfortable going through menstruation, so deal with it. Empathize with her. Yeah. You're both going through it together.
But yeah, no. It is a great movie. It has a great resolution. And yeah, I'm Kelly. We should have more Kelly Freeman Craig. This is ridiculous. This is her.
I want to say, like, she didn't do anything since Edge of 17, or maybe she did some like smaller projects, but yeah, based on Edge of 17 and then just your review as well as the reaction this movie has gotten, I'm kind of the same. I'm in the same fan club. I want to see more from her. I hope she gets to make more. And I hope the movie does well. I know it's kind of in the same boat that Polite Society is in, where these movies are being released amongst an onslaught of like big superhero movies and big blockbusters. So hopefully they find an audience.
Well, and also Lionsgate released their other action movie, Sisu, the same weekend.
That's right.
So I don't know what to make of that. So,
yeah.
But you know what? Go watch it. What?
I'll watch John Wick. I'll watch Sisu. I love it all, but I'll also go see Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, because it looks wonderful. So I hope everyone goes to see it. But is that all we have to discuss, or do we have one more movie? I think, Tyler, you have a movie that you saw called 20. And was this a documentary? Was it a narrative?
Yes. I've been tracing the schedule, and I saw more than I thought I did.
Oh, good. All right. Well, but you guys definitely showed me up this year.
But it's interesting that we started the conversation about like 2020 and like watching things in isolation. I watched all of these in isolation.
Oh, great. Okay, good.
So like, 20 is a cute black and white documentary on about 2020 and how it affected, I guess, this like it all takes place in a speakeasy. So it's kind of like everyone's in isolation in this bar, talking to a bartender about their experience in 2020. And it was nice for me because I actually knew some people in it and I had no idea.
Oh, awesome.
It's very East Atlanta Village. The whole thing is like very like, I used to work, service industry, as a bar back and server and stuff. And it's very much that vibe. Like it's like bartenders, dumping onto a bartender about how 2020 changed them and just how they're going to sort of carry this formidable time with them in the future. And it clocks is a little over an hour long, I think. Again, completely black and white. There's Um, there's some music sequences. There's some poetry from my friend Nicholas Goodley. And yeah, I had a good time with it. It was I hope that it was the kind of thing I wish more filmmakers were less afraid to just throw things on YouTube. I know that that's I know that that's like I know that people want their theatrical, run, or they want to sell it or whatever, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of these projects would benefit from just being available to be discovered, as opposed to sort of like held tightly to the chest. And I think 20 is in the former category, where I definitely do see this, kind of just being thrown up on Vimeo or YouTube or something, and being, held and seen as there's something of a historical document that it really is. It made me wish that I had made a 2020 documentary, and wish that there were more 2020 documentaries that were just purely about people's lived experience. And so that was cool.
That's the downside, I think, of the festival circuit, is I think when you're submitting to festivals, there's some sort of like
it can't be available.
Yeah, you can't release it in on any medium while it's making the rounds. And the idea is like, oh, you get to go to a festival, you get some clout that you can use to sell the movie. I don't know how much clout that actually is, though, because to your point, Tyler, it's just as likely to find an audience, probably more likely to find an audience on YouTube or Vimeo versus kind of the more it's hard talking about a lot of these movies because the audience who's listening to this won't get to see a lot of these, and you want them to see them, but in many cases they're locked into this. So it's like a weird catch-22. You want the clout to be able to sell it, but also nobody's going to see your movie if you need to get that clout.
Yes. Should I talk about more? Are there other films?
We'll do a couple more.
Okay, so that reminds me of a film that definitely isn't and can't be bought. It is, if not destined for YouTube, then destined for Reddit or Twitter. But that is Hello Dankness, directed by Soda Jerk. And it's a trip, man. They played it on 420, which was extremely appropriate because it's a stoner comedy musical, and it's very surreal and really interesting from a filmmaker's perspective how they did it. So to sort of explain the film or how it's made, basically the film is comprised of countless movies, TV shows, clips, internet memes, cobbled together to actually tell a story, and that story being American politics between 2016 and 2021. So to explain further, like it kind of takes the trope of and like the visual language of like a American suburb, and it's the opening sequence of The Burbs, but within the opening sequence of The Burbs, like Tom Hanks is getting the mail or whatever, Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World are playing hockey. It's like spliced together so that they're playing hockey and acknowledging each other. The girls from Pen 15 are in it watching watching what's occurring, and basically it's The Burbs, but like a Trump supporter moves in and like that, and like he's creeping up to the house, and they've like inserted all sorts of memorabilia and stuff, and they cut to musical sequences. It jumps around drastically. I'm going to need to see it. I'll see it again.
It sounds fascinating. I wish I'd seen it.
It's and I think it's again, it's there are way too many copyright violations. It's a miracle that it exists, just from a perseverance standpoint alone. And at the same time, I think if you are kind of internet brained like me, terminally online, especially in the political sphere, It may seem a little trite. We're like, sometimes it has the politics of like a like Bill Maher is like insulting, but it just kind of has like middling lib political perspectives and didn't really offer much in that.
It's kind of speaking to the choir type thing.
Very, very speaking to the choir. Exactly that. And I was like, this is funny, but a little condescending. I don't know if this is for me, but at the same time, I don't know who else this would be for.
Right.
Are we patting ourselves on the back? Or is it just purely a historical document of like, here's what a brain is like on late 2010s American politics, which I guess was sort of the point. It was just sort of like once COVID hit, they used a bunch of zombie movies and that sort of fear, like this is the end. They used a lot of that with Seth Rogen and Jay Baruchel. So a mild recommendation from that one. And then this will be the last one that I talk about because this one was probably my favorite film that I had seen from the festival. It is Red Earth. It's a very interesting experimental sci-fi drama where basically 3 generations of family members reflect on Earth and Mars. Like in like the first Earth colony. So like one guy is one of the last. So like the oldest guy is one of the few remaining humans on Earth, and like musings on that. And then another, the daughter is, about to fly to Mars, and the musings and thoughts and preparations of that. And then there's a third, descendant who is on Mars dying in their spacesuit. And like, so it's just kind of like moving between these different pillars, but it's also intercut by, it reminded me of Dune.
Okay.
Which is like cool. But even in that sort of, religious, textual way, like it was a lot of, like multiple paragraphs of like an imaginary journal that was written, or like an imaginary, piece of text. And it was really cool. And it was the most inspiring film that I'd seen from the festival, because it was clearly just like a girl in a black backdrop, a guy walking around a desert that's been color corrected to look like Mars in a spacesuit, and like an old guy in his bedroom on Earth. Very shoestring budget, but was able to tell this like very future thinking, Mars sci-fi story. So I recommend that one. I hope it kind of claws its way to some sort of audience, because at the same time that one only clocks in at like an hour 15 as well.
Right.
But doesn't feel like it. It feels longer, and in that sort of sci-fi way where it's like you really can't look at your phone. You got to buckle in, focus, like really take in the vibes.
I'm into that though. Like
so
2001, A Space Odyssey. Yeah, Tarkovsky, things like that. I can dig.
Very, very that slow moving, meditative sci-fi.
Okay.
And so I guess there's someone from the programming committee must really love their sci-fi, because it was a good mix of films, and it definitely didn't catch everything, but pretty sci-fi focused, I'd say. Nice. Like in like a specific, quantum, rotoscope B movie kind of sci-fi. So I wonder what it is for that.
Yeah, it was a good year for sci-fi, and very low budget sci-fi. Like it was very much like trying to show like people like we could do this, like we can do this in Georgia,
Yeah,
so,
which is fun and nice again to get back to filmmaking and just kind of going to the theater. Everything that we kind of lost in 2020, and now it's slowly but surely creeping back. And this year feels like a celebration of that. But this has been great. I think we're going to wrap up this part of the episode. Part 2 will be available on the Youth Critic Kale's podcast. So
Yes.
stay tuned for that. We'll be sharing that on the Nerd Party socials and everything. But gentlemen, if you want to, Kale, we'll start with you. Share with the good people at home where they can find you on all the socials and all that fun stuff.
You can find me on Twitter at Movie Kale. And right now, not only am I doing the Youth Critic podcast, I've just done 300 episodes, and this will be my 301 by the time it comes out.
My goodness, you're a machine.
Yeah.
I know I've done more episodes of this than Red Letter Media has of Half in the Bag.
Good Lord.
I've done more work than in 8 years than they have in 12 years. So,
and how much have you gotten paid for it, Kale?
None.
That's the best.
I've gotten.
He does it because he loves it, ladies and gentlemen.
I've done it. I have multiple ATL. I have multiple Atlanta Film Festival passes from it. So there you go.
So it's paid off in spades. Tyler,
Yeah.
where can the good people at home find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter less and less frequently at Tyler Scruggs. I write a newsletter when I feel like it over at tylerscruggs.com. And you can find me, I guess, primarily on Instagram these days, which feels that's where the kids are these days.
Surprisingly,
so
still.
that's where I'm making my money, and so I'm pouring myself into, or at least Moulin Rouge tickets into Instagram. Yeah, find me, ask me questions, follow me, whatever you want to do.
All of
don't
the
hurt
above.
me.
Yeah, please don't hurt me. I'm at Sean Doorman on Twitter. I'm Sean Doorman 05 on Letterboxd. And thank you everyone for listening. We will see you at the movies.